And the third is demand. You see, the Bible says in the book of Romans chapter 1 and verse 16 that I am not ashamed of the gospel. For it is the power of God unto salvation to them that believe. This means that encapsulated within the gospel is the power to make good what the gospel says. It means that once the gospel is proclaimed, there is nothing more you need to do or to add to it, but just believe. It means that at the proclamation of the gospel, what is released is the power of God. It means that from the moment the gospel is proclaimed, we cease from our works and enter into rest. Oh, the gospel is a beautiful thing. The Bible says it is the power. It is the power. It is the power. It doesn't produce the power. It is the power. And nowhere do we see this more rightly illustrated than the book of John chapter 8 from verse 10. The Bible says that Jesus Christ, lifting up his head, looked at the woman. And when he looked at her, he said, "Woman, where are thine accusers? Does no man condemn you?" She said, "No man, Lord." Let me pause and give a caveat here. Listen to me. When you are in the presence of Jesus, don't let any man condemn you. Any man includes yourself. It means that you might have carried some things. You might have carried yourself and put into some things. But when you are in the presence of Jesus, let no man condemn you. You know what I mean by the presence of Jesus? I mean that the moment you give your life to Christ and you begin to carry Jesus on the inside of you, from that point on, you have entered into rest. He said, "No man condemn you." He said, "No man, Lord." Immediately he says, "Then neither do I." He says, "Go and sin no more." Encapsulated within that word was the power to live above sin. From the moment Jesus Christ said it, something, the word fused with her DNA, so that the thing that made her want to sin was taken away. And that's the beauty about God. When God wants to do something in your life, it has nothing to do with you giving him permission. He will enter onto the inside of you, change you, regenerate you, bring you out, and you will begin to look at yourself as a new man. Now, one of the things that's going to be happening to each and every one of us in this place is that the way we are going to be seeing ourselves is going to change from today. That's one of the first miracles. In other words, you are going to stand, you will go back to those places. Those places you thought you could not enter. Hey, but now you are not going the same. You are going with bloodshot eyes, realizing that you are the righteousness of God in Christ Jesus. Realizing that no weapon, there is no weapon that is formed against me that shall prosper. The word of God is the power of God. The gospel is the power. You see this fitting, and this is what I want to say. You see all the fixtures on the inside of the church. What they do is that they bring forth light. So when you give them an opportunity to express themselves, all that comes out of them is light. It is the same way with the gospel. Every time you give the gospel opportunity in your life, all that comes forth is expressions of power. It may be expressions in the area of your healing. It may be expressions in the area of your of being set free from bondage. It may be expressions in the area of marriage. It may be expressions, but regardless of what it is, once the gospel is given free course, all that shows up is power. Unhindered, unadulterated, unstoppable. And so at any point in time that we get to the place that we don't see the power of God manifest in our lives, maybe we need to go and check on our gospel meter. We might be running low on gospel. What is the gospel? Christ died. He is risen again. And we are the righteousness of God in Christ Jesus. This is the gospel. This is the gospel. This is the power of God. Now, when like I said, when the message is preached, a lot of times in this particular sphere, it has nothing to do with. I said the what? The gospel, the prophet, and what? The man. Now, speaking about the gospel, we are speaking about the word of God, or God's word, basically, without the influence of man. Now, you see those kinds of you see some kind of interesting manifestations happen in meetings like this, because we have come to soak in the gospel. So you see what I call no hand miracle. You know no hand. How many of you are riding bicycles? Okay, you know no hand. Every time I say this thing, I'm reminded of a scenario that happened many years ago. I was on a bicycle and I was with a group of friends many years ago. Many years ago. So I was on a bicycle with a group of friends. Or rather, in an area with a group of friends, and we were riding on a bicycle. And there was this particular fine girl that I was eyeing many years ago. Hallelujah. I said nothing. Only many years ago. And so my friends they were chanting. You know how boys can be now. They were chanting, they were saying, you can do it. So I believed I could do it. I started no-handing and I was going. And while I was doing it, I wasn't looking where I was going. I was looking. You know when you're looking, you feel like you're the boss. Anytime, many years ago. Feeling like the HNIC, amen? Let the ignorant remain ignorant. All of a sudden, I saw this lady I was trying to impress. Sorry, girl, do this. She was doing like this. I was like, yeah. I knew not that a wall awaited me. But that was many years ago. Back to what I was saying. You see God do a lot of these no-hand miracles. It means that God, you just see miracles popping all around because the gospel is preached. You see things happening of their own accord. You see where the prophet doesn't have to release his faith in your direction, give a call towards you. All he needs to do is stand and proclaim the gospel, and people are getting healed all around the place. Inherent in the gospel is the power to make good all the gospel has said. I'm reminded of one such occurrences. I have a couple of testimonies like that, but myself and Pastor Wale, Pastor Ice, went over to Jos and we were ministering. We had this quite a few years ago, and we were in this meeting, and we asked for time, and they said, just feel free, and you don't do that. You do not do that. So we felt free from 4 to 12 a.m. See, this thing, is not, if it's burning in your heart, you will have more word in your heart than there is time for you to preach it. For 12 a.m. Could saw them not catching fish? They were prepping, praying and sleeping. We did it all. They went, and after that, they went and rested, and the next day they came. After they did one or two things, they came and we asked them, give them, they said 5 hours. 5 hours. We said, okay, that's it, we can manage that. I said that to say this. We were teaching about forgiveness of sins and the love of the Father. And as of the time when we finished and we were supposed to leave that state, we were just getting ready, there was this lady that just came and knelt down, lifted up her hands, and she was crying. I had no idea, not even the slightest inkling as to what could have been wrong or what went right with her. We just kept proclaiming. Well, bottom line, at the end of everything, we finished and we left, and almost a year later, I got a call. And I think it was from you. You were the one who told me. Okay, I think it was. I found out that lady at that point in time was battling with cancer. Leukemia, leukemia. No idea. I did not release my faith for it. I did not, neither one of us released our faith for it. We did not stretch our faith. We did not step out in faith. We did not conjure faith. We just preached the gospel. She called and she began to give a testimony of how she had gone and this. That after we preached, there was no altar call. We did not know what was wrong with her. She gave a call and she said after that there was a prompting in her spirit to go and check again. She went and she checked and she saw she was negative. No trace. This is what the gospel will do. It will not only handle the issue, it will totally obliterate it. There will be no proof that it ever existed. But you see, the issue begins to come on this level. It begins to come when we've been in the gospel for a little while. And then we begin to, we don't want to admit it, but at some point we begin to get bored with the gospel. We begin to get tired of the gospel. You don't really say it, but okay, well, my sins are forgiven. How does that put money into my pocket? This righteousness thing, we have heard it, but I don't entirely know. Anyway, let's be going. Aluta continua. So we just alutarize ourselves and just go with the crowd. At this point, we now see the introduction of the prophet. Because what the prophet acts as a specialist. Primarily what the prophet does. Now, understand that I'm using the word prophet in the broadest sense of the word. What I mean by that is that the prophet is the anointing or the anointed over your life. It could be your pastor, it could be a teacher. He is the prophet over your life. We see him come into the scene. And what does he come to do? He comes as a specialist. So a lot of times we see a lot of people who have gotten to the place where they will not admit, they will not say, okay, well, this gospel thing, I don't know. Listen to me. Because it seems like you saying your sins are forgiven does not cause these things to materialize. It does not in any way affect the gospel. The gospel is just as potent and as powerful as the day you first believe. It just means that over time, you have gotten so familiar with the gospel that it has reduced its effectiveness in your life. And so we see the prophet enters. And like I said, the prophet comes and acts as a specialist. What does he do? The prophet channels the power and the presence of God into the nooks and crannies of your life. So we would see in the Bible says, 2 Chronicles chapter 20 and verse 20. It says, obey the Lord and your God. Believe the Lord and your God, you shall be established. He said, but prosperity comes with the prophesying of the prophets. Or it comes as you believe the prophets. What this scripture means is that traction you have been looking for life, it seems like you have been running a long time and not making progress. The words of the prophet, anointed words of the prophet, is what gives you the push in life you need. The words of the prophet. Don't want that Job puts it this way in Job chapter 22 and verse 22. He says, receive, I pray thee, the law from his lips. He says, hide his words in thine heart. Why? Because Proverbs chapter 4 verse 22 puts it this way. He says, they are life to all that fears him. It helps to all that fears, yea, life to all of their flesh. So we begin to see that when the prophet comes, see, let me put it this way. The prophet, the introduction of the prophet into your life means the end of process. The introduction of the prophet into your life, it marks the end of prophet. That's why God will speak to the heart of Rev to let us understand that as we are coming here, we are entering into portals. Listen to me. Why do I have to go through all that Rev went through in ministry when I can partner with him? Why do I have to go through all that the men of like precious faith, men who have been speaking, men who have been here speaking, who have been pouring out themselves and their hearts and their lives to us? Why do I have to go through all they have gone through when I can partner? Oh, we see that by the ways of the prophet, God exalts his lowly men. I find it even interesting that even the careless words of a prophet, even the words of a fallen prophet, the Bible is speaking about what's his name? I always call him Abraham. Moses, Brahmo. The Bible says that he was standing at the top of the mountain, and Aaron and Hur helped carry his hands up. That proves that even the weak hand of the prophet still ensures victory. We see, like has been said over this week, how that when Brother Samuel was supposed to be born, his mother went and she was praying, Ma, I have a question. If this man were truly to be a prophet, should he not have known what was happening or what was off with her? I mean, think about it. He obviously did not know. It took her pulling something from the inside of him for the Spirit of God to come upon him. You see, the prophet is so potent in our lives that even the thought, the memory of the prophet provokes harvest. Don't believe me? Scripture says that the king, all of a sudden, he didn't have anything. He just thought, see, come, tell me about the works of your master. He just said, oh, okay, no problem. Gehazi started telling that this was what happened, this was what happened, this was what happened, and this woman left, and my master raised this woman. The Bible says, while he was there talking, the woman walks in. Elijah was not there, but he provoked a harvest. He provoked a harvest. Oh, but I've seen a great evil under the sun. And it is like the man, the son of the prophets in the book of 2 Kings, chapter 2, or chapter 4 rather. They are men who are sitting down, suffering and almost dying from ailments they are anointed to heal. The Bible says that this woman, she ran to the, she knew what to do. She never familiarized herself with this thing. She knew what to do. Said, behold, your servant, my husband, is there. And the creditors are here to collect. They were there to collect. She ran to the very same person that her husband was working for, and he never exposed himself to the grace upon his life. She ran to him. And the prophet, the prophet never said, come, take this. It is well with you. No. The prophet said, what do you have in your hands? I dare to tell you that at the point at which she met with the prophet, what she had in her house was far less than when her husband was alive. So even though it seemed like the resources had diminished, Sama, the miracle is not in what you have lost. The miracle is in what you have left. You must see this. It is in what you have left in your hands. It's in what you have left. The prophet said, what do you have? In the same Second Kings. I think that's chapter 8, chapter 6. We see the introduction of the king. The Bible says that the king just came down, he was walking, and then two women were arguing. I chop your pikin, you chop my pikin. You chop my pikin, I chop your pikin. Let's fight. We see all this thing happen. And in comes the king, realizing that he is incapacitated to handle this matter. He knew where to go to. He said, let this be done to me. And so if the head of Elijah is still on his body, you need to know where to run to your prophet. It seemed like he was threatening him, but the truth of the matter is that he knew what to do. Sama, this tells me that the prophet can be in your very vicinity, be supernaturally sustained, catered for and cared for, and you'll be suffering. The prophet was not removed from that environment. You see, the prophet was in that environment, but he was blossoming. The anointed was blossoming. I say quite a number of people, they are in the presence of the anointed and they have not begun to experience the testimonies after the order of the anointed. How? I cannot be with you. So maybe. How can I be with you? And you're experiencing these things and it does not jump on me. It's not possible. I will do all that is physically and legally possible to get what is upon you to come upon me. I will sow my seed. I will pray for you. I would ask you if I should wash your clothes. I will do whatever it takes to get what is on you upon me. The entrance of the prophet marks the end of process in your life. It marks the end of process. So today we heard the prophet say that as the day breaks, food has come. Hey! It has settled it. It has settled it. It means that you will take these words of the prophet. They are not to be taken lightly. They are not to be taken lightly. But after a while, people tend to begin to get flaky about the anointing. He's Rev now. We knew the shirt that Rev wore when they ordained him. Duh. No, he's Rev. No, it's not Rev, it's my anointed. See, learn to separate the anointing and the anointed from general knowledge. If you take the anointed as just general knowledge, you see, I don't understand. I can't for the life of me understand. When I will sit down, and because I have 200 naira to buy credit, I will call Rev or call somebody and be gisting with Rev. Rev is not called to be my friend, he's called to be my prophet. He's called to be my prophet. I'm not called to befriend Rev. I'm called to serve. Rev says jump, I say how high? How far? If Rev calls me today and asks me, Pastor Dan, are you busy? I will say, now, no, sir. Rev believed in me before I even believed in myself. I'm still looking for the reason. I won't lie. I'm looking for the reason why Rev trusts me. Especially the way I look. I mean, I'm looking for the reason. Oh, but this thing is an election of grace. It's an election of grace. The anointed is not called to be your friend. You are not called. You are not called to like what the anointed says to you. You are called to obey. You are called to obey. Now let me go over to the man. Now, if the word or the message or the gospel, if the gospel is, what did I say it is? The power. No, aside from that, there's something else. No, really, I forgot it. I actually want you to remind me. Sorry? No, the gospel is no hands. All right. I don't know, maybe I didn't say it. But listen. The introduction of the gospel is the introduction of divinity without the interference of man. It is without the interference of man. So when the gospel is preached, the gospel knows what to do. The anointing is an intelligent anointing. It knows what to do. But you see, if the gospel is that, then when it comes to the man, you see that when it comes to man, man is the, how do I put it? Okay. Man is the consciousness. Man is having the consciousness of divinity via the instrumentality of the man himself. I'll explain. You see, at the wedding of Cana in Galilee, John chapter 2, the Bible says Jesus Christ appeared for a wedding, and all of a sudden, when he showed up, wine finished. And Mary said, she gathered people and she said, see, you see that guy? Go and meet him. Go and meet him. Whatever he tells you to do, do. When he met him, what did Jesus Christ say? In verse 4, Jesus said, what have I to do with you, woman? For my time has not come. Jesus Christ openly says his time had not come, and then he launches out to do the miracle all the same. It shows you that the sovereignty of God does not exclude the influence of a praying faithful man or a praying man of faith. I like something that Reverend Tukula said. He said in the New Testament, is you move, God moves. Is you move, God moves. And enough of all this, I'm waiting to hear from God. Yeah, 6 years, you are still waiting to hear from God. God is not shy. God is not shy of speaking. Now, in the area of the man, we begin to look at 1 Timothy chapter 18, chapter 1 and verse, what's the name? 18. Where he says, this charge I commit unto you, Timothy, by the words of prophecy that has gone on before you, that you by them by these words of prophecy, sir, you war a good warfare. It means that you carry this prophecy and make prophetic transactions. That's what Pastor Richard was saying today. It's not like after you finish, oh, glory to God, Randai, Shandai, untie my bow tie, and then you finish and you go out and you're happy. And you're just happy. No. When you leave this place, it's the time to go and begin to war the good warfare using this prophecy. In other words, you will wake up, and this will be what keeps you up at night. You will be awake by 2, by 3 a.m. and you are pacing your room. You are not thinking of anything. You are just saying when as the day breaks, food has come. You are warring with these words. The war we are in is a war of words. It's a war of words. It is 1 Timothy chapter, what's it? Chapter 4. The Bible now says, it says, neglect not the gift of God, which was given to you via the instrumentality of prophecy and the laying on of hands of the presbytery. He says, meditate on these things. Give yourself wholly to them, that your profiting may appear unto all. It means that the way that you actually step into these things and you own it is by staying with this thing. Is that you stay with these words of prophecy. What words of prophecy? I'm talking about the mixture of the first two. The mixture of the word of God himself. Because the Bible says in 2 Peter chapter 1 and verse 18 and 19. It says that how does it put it? 2 Peter 1 and 19. One like this. He said we also have a more sure word of prophecy. He said, whereunto you will do good, that you take heed as unto a light that shineth in a dark place, until the day dawns and the day star arises in your heart. 19. That's what I'm going to. He said, 20, sorry. That's what I'm going to say. 20. He now says, knowing first that no prophecy of scripture. So it shows you that scripture is first prophecy before it's anything else. Scripture is first prophecy before it's anything else. So when we are saying prophecy, we're not just saying, thus says the Lord, God is God and man is man. Shabadabada. No, we are talking about scriptures. And then the word of God spoken by his holy prophets that comes and lashes upon our hearts like arrows on barbed wires. We must stay with this thing. You must stay with it until it becomes all, until what you see becomes all you see. You must stay with it. You must decide in your heart that this thing, I will prove it. It works. It works. It is when you stay with this thing that you come to the place of peace, that you realize that regardless of what comes your way, God will never put you in a position where your only option is defeat. You will never be put in a place where it seems like the devil has the upper hand and is winning and he has won. Oh, Rev said yesterday that he has come to announce our victory. I dare say, I am the victorious one. I'm the victorious one. And like Rev said this morning, the way you announce this, the way you do this thing is by speaking. It's by speaking. It's by speaking. In other words, we carry these words, we chant them, we put them in our hearts, we fellowship with them until it mixes with our spirit. And then when we bring it out, there is nothing that can hinder the word. Nothing. I dare say that until men begin to carry God's word and fellowship with it, put it in their heart and stay, you will never understand the true import of the truth of the gospel. What I mean by that is not that you will not get results. Oh, you will get results. But you will have to wait for the instrumentality of the gospel to be preached. So you will come to meetings like this, you will stand and you will receive. You and over you, and you will receive. But you see, the problem is that meetings like this, a lot of time comes but once a year. Men of like precious faith are not always available. And if they are, they don't always want to see your face. But sir, you can carry these words and determine that now I am walking out of this thing. This thing is not a hit and miss. Listen, we always hit the bullseye. We are not untrained soldiers. We are not unskilled soldiers. We know what to do. We know. Bible speaking in the book of Philippians chapter 1 and verse 19. I like the Message translation. He says, I am going to keep this celebration going because I know how it will turn out. Through your faithful prayers and the generous response, the King James says, the supply of the Spirit. It means that these words that you've been hearing here today, these words that you've been hearing here over this past week, these words of prophecy, these words of truth, these words of life, you will carry it. You will go back to your house and you will bring life out of it. Some of you will go into your homes and you will bring the job out. You will pull relationships out. You will pull exchange families back to yourself out. You will pull healing out. Stop waiting for light at the end of the tunnel. When will you realize you are the light? Every point in the tunnel is a potential exit point. Let your light so shine. Let it shine. You will realize that when men come to you, you create a bonfire and you step out of the tunnel. This thing we are not is not a trial and error thing. I say again. It's who we are. It's who we are. It's who we are. Listen, our testimony is forever settled. We have been declared by blood, eternally blessed, eternally healed, eternally provided for. We are spoken for. We are spoken for. We are spoken for. Personally, I don't know what it's like to not have answered prayers, or to not have answered prayer. I don't know. I don't know. I say this and people look at me weird and I say, you're weird. You're the weird one. You're the weird one. You're the weird one. You see, I carry these things and I see, for me, if you come to the church, you still hear us confessing 2005 Camp Pitilo. Our harvest has come. If you do not do that, it will look like the word of prophecy has a lifespan. Because it will look like it's a season that this word... See, I am still confessing great days. And I am still enjoying great days. One of the funniest things about the great days prophecy is that in the great days prophecy, Rev was saying, Rev said that it is 10 years of great days. Did you ever... Now, normally I don't need permission, but when you say it's 10 years, Christmas Day... I don't know what it is like to not have answered prayers. You see, a lot of times we do things like this. We don't stay with the word. This word come. I'm reminded of Jeremiah. In Jeremiah chapter 8 and verse 20, he said the harvest is past, the summer is come, and we are not yet saved. In other words, it seems like this thing has been spoken. Men of like precious faith have spoken words to you. There are clouds of harvest hovering over your head. But there is no avenue. There is no release. There's no way in which it can be expressed. I don't know what it's like to not have answered prayers. I don't know. God always answers me because I am righteous. Righteousness means that you have rights. You have a right and an access to everything that Christ died to bring to you. Do I have righteous people in the house? I am righteous. I am righteous. I am righteous. I think somebody needs to say this. Because I am righteous, I always have my prayers answered. You see, God did not plan for you not to have any unanswered prayers. That's why there is nothing in the manual concerning it. Okay, if your prayer doesn't get answered, do this. Take two sips, 2 shots of alabuku every day. 6 snippets of bobonishe. Stand upright and shout, Holy Ghost! And all will be well. Nah. Let's not create a theology that makes it okay when it seems like things are not working in our lives. Let's not explain it. You know when you have it. You stay with this thing until you prevail. Until the impossible begins to seem logical. The things you used to think about and you used to say, how shall these things be? Seeing as how I have no uncle in Senate, you begin to say, how shall these things not be? I have swallowed up the world. Well, God told me, he said signature miracles. That's what folks will be living here with. You know what a signature miracle is? It means that it's a miracle that will be characterized by you. They cannot talk about that miracle without talking about you. You say, like the way it happened with Pastor Muriel, like the way it happened with Rev, like the way, you see, that thing that happened with Rev, that thing that happened with Ice, that is what will characterize your life. That's what will characterize your life. There is an anointing in this place. Karababush kitele, Mara katalaba, Mare kitele fredos katalaba, Hile kitele. Ebenezer, my help has come. Ebenezer, Ebenezer, my help has come. You are going back into places that you were looked down on. It seemed that at some point in time you were walking and you were not making progress. It seemed like you had people that were your mates, they were your contemporaries. Then at some point they started going ahead of you. Then suddenly you looked into the distance and you couldn't find them because it seems like you had fallen so far behind. But here this says the Spirit of the Lord. Look behind you. For what you once saw ahead of you, I carried you on the wings of glory and overtook. Now suddenly speed is synonymous with everything you do. You have arisen above the mundane things of this life. Suddenly you enter into the fullness of what I have called you to. It is easy, it is happening speedily, and you shall experience this thing in no distant time. God said to tell you, just 4 minutes left. God said to tell some of you that some of the things that you've been believing God for, you don't have a reference point for it. In other words, nobody in your family has entered into this place. I'm saying, welcome to the ground and the pillar of truth. This is the home of possibilities. Listen to me. One of the things that is happening to you is capacity to swallow up the things that you have been thinking that you could not take before now. See, there is a difference between capacity and capability. Capability speaks that you can do it. Capacity speaks of the magnitude in which you can do it. One of the things that is happening to you here is that you are receiving capacity for expansion. In other words, you are going back and you are taking over. See, you will have a lot of, one of the graces that is available here today is the ability to replicate testimonies after they are kind. You will see that some of you have been hearing Rez say one thing or the other. You've been hearing him talk about these travels, all these trips, all these journeys. I say, welcome. Hey, it's morning, sir. Food has come. Food has come. Out of the eater has come something to eat. See prophecy. Hey, there is so much available to me to be redundant in life. See, this one I'm going to say. This one is a personal anointing. There is no way I go to and I speak and I teach these words that people do not enter into the marketplace and explode. If you do not want to have a job, don't come near me. Something will jump from me upon you. If you do not see, I say this as humbly as I can. But see, there are some things that you will not struggle with because you are in this place. There are some things you will no longer struggle with. The anointed is a portal. Is a portal. Sir, enter into the portal. Enter in, ma. Enter in. I see men entering. I see men jumping. I see men shouting. I see men singing. I see men entering. I see men entering. I see men entering. Entering. What was meant to kill you has been turned around for your good. What proclamations have been made? What conjurings have been made? All the things that have been spoken that have been contrary to where God has placed you. It is frustrated just by simply the preaching of the gospel. Things long sought after. Things long looked for. Things long believed for. Long-standing issues are coming to a halt. I say this, we do this, and then I leave. You know, in the book of Samuel, 1 Samuel chapter 10, the Bible speaks of how Samuel and Saul were meeting, and then after that, Samuel begins to tell Saul some sense. Samuel tells Saul that, okay, you begin to go, and as you get to Saul's sepulchre, he says you will meet two people. They will tell you that the asses have been found, and lo, now your father seeketh thee. Your father is now asking, what am I to do with my son? Oh, by the time I'm done today, you would have entered into something. You would have entered into something. You would see, guy. There is a paradigm shift happening on the inside of you. You will go back to places where you used to go to. You will not be able to enter into those modes. There is a restructuring happening to you. There is a restructuring. He said, by righteous sepulchre, you see two people and they will tell you all of this. He said, beyond that, you will go and then you get to a forgotten word, teaser or something like this. Oh, better coming from the place of worship. And you see three people, one holding 3 kids, one holding 3 loaves of bread, and one holding a skin. He said, they will offer you 2 loaves of bread. Accept it. But then he says, you go past there. And when you get to the hill of the Lord, you will see the garrison of the Philistine. I find it funny that it is at the hill of the Lord that the enemy chose to make a camp. And so he prepares a table for me in the presence of my enemy. He says, you will see people coming down, a company of prophets. Ma, Saul told Samuel, he says, you will prophesy with the prophets. He says, and at the point in which these things have happened, you will be turned, transformed, transfigured into a new man. You will metamorphose. You see, the change is so total. It is so final that there is no ability. There's no ability in you or anybody else to reverse it. It is an irreversible change. That's what you are entering into today. He says you will be metamorphosed into a new man. He says, as you do this, as you are metamorphosed into a new man, he says, then you will do what as occasion serves you, because the Lord your God is with you. Are we transform people in the house? Now let's begin to prophesy with the prophets. What are the words? What are the words that men of like precious faith have spoken to you? I'm done. What are the words that men have spoken to you? If you have a book here, open the book. If you have it, like me, I have a book. All these things are in my heart, but you know the truth of the matter. I like to make eye contact with it. I bring out my phone. There is no word that has been, including the word that Rev spoke to me and slew me yesterday, including that one of yesterday. I ran back to my seat and I wrote it down, because I must make prophetic transactions with this same word. If I must bring out, sir, God is obligated to fulfill his word in your life. He's not obligated to fulfill your potential. It means that God gives the word. How far you go with the word is entirely up to you. This means, ma, that as you are standing here, you begin to chant these words. Begin to speak these words. Begin to speak these words. Words that men of like precious faith have spoken over you. Words that scripture has said concerning you. Words that are highlighted in your spirit. Words that are crying out in your spirit. Begin to say those words now. Begin to say them. Begin to say them. Begin to say them. Begin to say them. Listen, I will not give you the cue. But at the point in time when it dawns on you, begin to rejoice, because it is done.